Hello, YouTube. This is Weston's Toys and Collectibles, and today we're going to cover the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Bruticus Maximus. This was a Target exclusive release, I believe. So it's an older figure. I have the box because I just recently purchased it secondhand. But this set is pretty cool. I'm not going to go over the box. We've all seen the Revenge of the Fallen boxes in the past, so we're going to go ahead and jump straight into this. And first I'm going to lower the camera down a bit so we can see what's going on. So first off, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the accessories, because this comes with quite a few. Got two of these that go with the tanks. And they're different shades of clear orange. And you got two of these that go to the helicopters, and they're different shades of clear reddish color. So it's pretty cool. And these can be mounted on to the vehicles. So I think this one goes to Vortex. Let's see how this just plugs into his hands. Something like that. So that one. Then this one go to Swindle. If I don't drop it. Basically, each of the figures has clear plastic that matches the clear plastic of their weapon. But also, like on Swindle's weapon, this is tan, which matches that tan. And on this one, it's gray, which matches this gray. So that's those two with their weapons attached. These two, it's really hard to tell which is which. Okay, you gotta look at the port on the back. Can't really tell in the camera, but this one goes with Blast Off. And that just plugs into the top right there. And then this one goes to Brawl. Onslaught doesn't have his own accessories, and then each of them gets one of these Energon stars. So once again, if I can stop dropping them, they're very small. Each of them gets whatever one matches their weapon. And you can put the Energon star on Onslaught also if you wanted, but as it is, Onslaught doesn't have any kind of weapon of his own. So it's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the tanks. So these are Blast Off and Brawl. And Blast Off, each of them has like something that has to do with their name. So he has a B and an O, so Blast Off. And he's just a brown, purple, and then this grayish color plastic, as well as some black plastic. A few silver highlights, some red here, purple Decepticon logo here. You can take off these weapons and kind of see some more. You can pretty much just see it's just his arms on top, and this is just black plastic, so it does look better. It covers up his hands and stuff if you leave that on top. These rotate, the turret rotates, and this goes for both of them. Brawl's pretty much just color swapped the black for silverish plastic, this dark gray for this light green, the brown for this green, and then like the purple for this darker green. So the colors are pretty much just swapped. And then it's exactly the same. On him, it took me a while to realize what this was. It says 1MJ9. But if you turn it upside down, it's BRWL, Brawl. So when I realized that, it was like kind of cool. So that's pretty much the tanks in their vehicle modes. Pretty easy to transform. I'm just going to transform Brawl on camera, so take that off. Then you're going to open up the arms, kind of pull them out to the side like so. Just like to get that done and over with. Pull the treads down. You're going to rotate this panel. There's two panels that rotate. There's this one, and then this one rotates at this hinge here, which brings it up over the chest, to form the chest, I should say. Go ahead and flip his arms to lock that into place. Flip this down, flip his head down, and rotate his head. And this folds up against his chest like so. Then flip his feet out and just orient his arms properly. And once again, like, you know, pretty much everything's the same on Blast Off, except for the color swaps. He has this as his weapon, and he can hold it like this. We can flip it over like this and hold it like that if you wanted him to, I guess, but it doesn't. These don't make very good weapons, honestly. So that's pretty much a tank mold. Gonna go ahead and turn them into their limb modes right quick. Oh, articulation first. Everything's on ball joints except for the head's on a swivel and the ankles just on a pivot forward. Ball joint here, ball joint here. He has a rotation at the waist. Yeah, it's kind of detented, so it like wants to lock here, lock here, lock here, lock here. Yeah, so kind of weird. These can kind of move around too because they're on hinges and they can spread out if you wanted them to. On Blast Off, I like to have them out like wings. On Brawl, I like to just have them. Oh, they do come off pretty easily. Just have them folded down like that on Brawl. And on Blast Off, they'd be like that. And I dropped the figure. Alright. So yeah. So now to get him back into his tank mode, because you pretty much have him in his vehicle mode for his limb modes. And just kind of reverse everything we did. Make sure to orient the arms so that they're backwards at the elbow, and then they kind of tab in to the shoulder, and then the guns rotate up like that. Bring them together, and they just kind of tap together. Not securely, but they tap together. Rotate his feet back up, and they lock into place. They tab in. And then to go into leg mode, I like to leave this up. I'm just gonna point back down, but I like to leave the bottom panel in the robot formation for leg mode. So it'd be like that. For Blast Off, just pull these out, or at least pull one of them out, and then rotate it here for the limb mode. You want to take these off. This can actually be pointing upwards like that. Yeah. And for the hand, it's going to fold down like that and fold down right there. Not a very convincing hand, but it does its job. And pull down that for the arm. And then you just plug this one in here like that for the leg. And that's an arm and a leg done. I'm going to go ahead and set those off to the side. Next, we're going to go ahead and look at the helicopters. We have Swindle and Vortex. Swindle has this money, this dollar sign here on the side, which looks like an S. So, and then Vortex has V1, so, you know, V for Vortex. This is their weapon thing, and yeah, it's not very convincing either. Those come off really easily. These ones feel really loose also. Alright, so to transform him into robot mode, you can pull the arms down like so, pull the legs out, and rotate them like this. So that the toe is facing up. Bring this tail rotor down. Do the same on the other leg. And the foot will lock into place there. You want to rotate at the waist. Bring out his arms. Bring out these two little panels that will kind of fill out his flank. Bring this whole cockpit section down to form his chest. Bring his head back. And then bring his arms down and orient them properly. And then on his rotors, you want to just lock them down into this position. And they will lock into this position right here. They'll still flip around, but they're locked together, so they're not going to go separate of each other. So if you pull on it, pull on it this way, it'll go with it. Because they're locked together, they're just like not locked in place. To hold this thing, just kind of plug it into his hand. Yeah, it doesn't look very good, but would have been nice if they had made it so he could hold it like this. Just kind of like a little cannon here. If you wanted, you could pop these off and just plug them into his hands. They're just on these little pegs. So they pop on and off pretty easily. And then this moves back and forth for, hand mode. So pretty much, I think the colors are basically just translated between the grays and blues on him to the tans and browns on Swindle. Yeah, and even the paint pattern here on the tail fin is pretty much just adjusted to the color scheme. So the dark gray on him is translated to this tannish color. This lighter gray is translated to this honey mustard color, and then the blue is translated into this more brownish tan. To transform these two in their limb mode, basically you want to rotate the legs at the knee from robot mode. This is a bit of a weird, limb, but fold his head in and pull this forward, and then down here at this hinge you want to pull it out and bring that down and lock that into place. The arms will actually tab onto the legs, and this is for just limb mode in general, because the limbs are going to look basically the same. So he's going to be the arm, so fold that down, and then this will plug in like so, and then the thumb on whatever side. So that's the arm mode. It's going to be basically the same with this, but to go from helicopter mode, you just want to skip a couple steps to robot mode. So bring out his legs, and you want to rotate them so the toes are facing down. Rotate that as well. He has these tiny little tail fins here that will be facing inward. Rotate at the waist, bring his arms out, bring these flank pieces out, untab there, and bring this down. Bring his arms down and tap them onto the legs. Tab them onto the legs. All right. And then this you just want to do this with that. Bring that down. And then for foot mode, you want to make sure these guns are facing back, and it's going to just plug into there, like so. So it doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't feel like a good connection. Like, there. It doesn't feel stable. Alright, so we got all of his limbs taken care of. So there's Swindle, Brawl, Vortex, and Blast Off. We can set those back here and take a look at Onslaught. And Onslaught is pretty cool. He's like a missile carrier truck, kind of like, this kind of just rotates, and you can, like an anti-aircraft, ground-to-air missiles. Pretty cool. He does transform into his robot mode. You want to bring this down, and it will lock into place. Come back here and spread it here at the hips. You want to open it at the hips so you can pull the foot out, pull the heel spur out, and then bring that down. These heel spurs are kind of important. I just wish they were on the other side of the foot. I mean, it'd be an easy change if you wanted to go in here and take out these two screws and then replace this leg with this leg, but I find it doesn't bother anything for combined mode, so I don't worry about it too much. I don't ever have these guys in their individual robot modes. So there's the legs done, and basically you can see like the entire torso. It's a very simple transformation. And bring this back like so, and bring his arms out. Fold these forward, rotate them, bring his arms down. Does have some nice ratchets at his elbows, and then bring his head down, and then all of this can just kind of collapse against his back, and it plugs in right there like so. It's supposed to plug in. Do I have it? Maybe if I turn this head around. Okay, it doesn't want to plug in. There it goes. And then just kind of bring these. There we go. And there's his huge backpack on this figure. I don't fault it because it's there for a good reason for the combined mode, which is really nice. The combined mode is brilliant in comparison to like this robot mode. At least for the torso. These legs are and arms are kind of goofy. Okay, so pretty cool. He has rotations everywhere. There's no ball joints on this figure. It's all universals and rotations. So universals, swivels, hinges, universal joints down here. The rotation is waist, ratcheted. This is ratcheted. This is soft ratcheted. It's rotation. This knee is soft ratcheted. So a lot of ratchets on this small figure, and he is a small figure. Here he is with a Generations Deluxe. So you see he's about a deluxe size figure. And then all the others are like, I guess with the newer scale, it's Legends class, so like they're about the same height as this guy. Maybe a little bit taller. Alright, to turn him into his torso mode, which is, it's not difficult to do, so. And bring his legs up like so. Kind of spread it out a little bit. Spread it out. Bring this up, like we're going back to vehicle mode. You want to leave these so it keeps these exposed. You then want to raise his head up and then bring his arms in. You want to make sure this port and this post are out. And this will come around, and there's a port here and a small post here. And then there's a tab here that will kind of sit in the side here, and that kind of locks that arm in place. We can rotate the waist. So now you want to bring these out, and then bring this all out like so. You want to keep this bent at this, like so, this up, out, and up. Bring this up, and then you want to bend at this hinge here, so that will lock that piece into position. Go ahead and rotate that head. You're going to bring this down. This little tab here is going to go into this slot here. So you just kind of have to work it in like that. So this will be angled in, down, and then all of this will come up, and then these two slots here on this panel that his head rests on will go onto those tabs there, which were previously used for vehicle mode. Then you just kind of spread out his little horns, and there's the torso mode. So now we can just attach all of his limbs. So here's Swindle and Brawl for his legs, and then Blast Off and Vortex for his arms. Yeah, and there's the Revenge of the Fallen Bruticus Maximus. Let me raise my camera up so you can see him. He's kind of tall. He's not huge, but he's definitely decent size. Like here he is with the Classics Seeker mold. And here he is with a Earthrise Seeker, Earthrise Starscream. So he's about older leader class, I guess you could say. Not the new fake leader class, but you know. Let me see if he's out of scales with something older. So here he is with the Armada Skywarp, which is a pretty decent sized figure. Pretty cool. So articulation, you have a lot of articulation. You have no posability with these things. So articulation, you know, he has all of the joints here from robot mode, you know, forward kick, the side splits here, and then these go in and out, rotate, knee bend. There's nothing at the ankles, nothing at the wrists, no elbows, nothing like that. So basically what you're left with is a bit of a brick, a combined brick. Kind of like that's a combined brick. this one just looks a lot busier. So this isn't a good figure by itself, but a few years ago, a little company called Fans Project fixed it. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, till all are one.